deserves to fight Islam Makhachev next? What's up, guys? IBG here, and today we're discussing Islam's next opponent. Who will it be? You know, we have Arman, Oliveira, Holloway, Gaethje, Sawyer, Dariush, Hooker, Gamrot, Fiziev. Well, I'm kind of pushing it, you know, saying those last 3-4 names. But you know what I mean, right? We're still not knowing anything about Islam's next opponent. You know, it was said that maybe Islam Gaethje could be next, you know. Gaethje coming off the win against Fiziev. You know, Ilya, he's moving up. Who else? Dan could have actually got a title shot, surprisingly, because if he never pulled out, beat Gaethje, and then it would have been Islam versus Dan, even though I wouldn't want that, because that's like the most pointless rematch you can make. Obviously, Arman, but he pulled out last minute against Islam, so we're going to be realistic. You know, who deserves to fight Islam the most? Arman, if we're being honest, he actually deserves it. You know, he's on a long win streak. You know, his past opponents, Oliveira, Dariush, Silva. Obviously, the last name I said ain't really the most impressive, but, you know, he's still on a win streak. He beat Oliveira. He deserves it the most, but he won't be Islam's next opponent. You know, Dana White is angry at Arman. You know, he's angry that he pulled out last minute, pretty much the day before, you know, the fight, and said, my back hurt, you know, because I was horsing around with that 3 or 4. And, yeah, man, and it's just sad, because that would be an elite matchup, but, you know, it's all on Arman, man. You hurt your back doing some dumb shit, and now it's going to be another opponent that doesn't really deserve it. I mean, it probably does deserve it, but, you know, it's not going to be as good of a fight, you know, as Islam vs. Arman 2. And Islam vs. Arman 2 would have did numbers. But sadly, Arman pulled out, and now we have a very rangy set of opponents that Islam could face, where we don't even know who he's going to face, you know? So, Arman, he won't fight Islam next. Oliveira doesn't deserve it at all. See, look, beating Michael Chandler, who was out for 2-3 years, waiting for Red Panty Night, that's not impressive. I'm sorry, but look at the fight. Chandler looked like absolute ass. Chandler is the definition of ass. When was Chandler's last win? And who was it against? Oh, yeah, it was like 2 years ago against the shell of Tony Ferguson. Like, that's not impressive at all. So, Oliveira beating Chandler, who only has 2 wins in the UFC, by the way, that is not impressive at all. You know, who cares if Chandler could have won all those fights he lost in? Who gives a fuck? He didn't win. You know, that's the only thing that actually matters. Who won? Not Chandler. You know? And, look, losing to Arman the fight before that, and then obviously beating Beneil, like, that's not good. That's not a good record to say, oh, yeah, I deserve the Islam rematch. Especially when the guy you're trying to beg for a rematch for dominated you. So, yeah, Oliveira does not deserve it at all. You know, Islam versus Oliveira 2 would low-key be the same thing. Maybe even easier for Islam, because Islam now has been in there with Oliveira. He's already had multiple camps for Oliveira. Let's be honest, Oliveira's fucked if he goes against Islam. But he doesn't deserve it. Oliveira does not deserve a shot at Islam. And Max Holloway, I'm not going to lie, it would be an exciting matchup. Islam versus Max, but obviously he just got knocked down in his last fight, which was in another weight division, so obviously he doesn't deserve it. Justin Gaethje, he has a very strong case for deserving this fight. He beat Rafael Fiziev. He lost to Max Holloway, got knocked out. Okay, cool. And then he knocked out Dustin Poirier. Before that, he knocked out Dustin Poirier, and then before that, he dominated Fiziev the first time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Before the Max Holloway knockout, Justin Gaethje was on a good run. And he was really making a strong case for himself to deserve a title shot. If anything, if Justin Gaethje never took that Max Holloway fight, he would have already fought Islam. That's how good of a run he was on. That's how good of a case he had. You know, and now he's back in the win column. He beat Fiziev. I'm not going to lie. I think Gaethje right now might be the most deserving. And obviously we got Dustin Poirier, who lost to Islam in his last fight, so obviously he's not going to get it. Dariush, obviously not. Come on, bro. Dariush, obviously not. Dan Hooker, obviously not, because he pulled out due to injury. Saw his fucking hand. It's just fucking puffed out. Like, holy shit. Gamrot, obviously not. Lost in his last fight to Dan Hooker. Fiziev, lost in his last fight. Moicano just dominated. Just got dominated by Islam. Chandler, obviously not. Paddy Pimblett, obviously. Yeah. So, pretty much, it's just... The only rightful contender right now is Gaethje's. And people are going to say, what about Ilya? The featherweight. See, yes, we're going to keep calling him the featherweight because when Islam beat Volk twice, people always say Islam beat a featherweight twice. They give him no fucking credit. So why should then Islam fight another featherweight? It makes no sense. It's not a win-win for Islam. Like Ilya. Like, if Ilya loses to Islam, it's okay. I'm supposed to lose to him. And if Ilya beats Islam, then it's like, oh, yeah, you're one of the greatest for sure. If not the greatest. But Islam loses to Ilya, cooked. If Islam beats Ilya, no credit. So what is it? What's in it for Islam if he beats Ilya? There's nothing. Or if he fights Ilya, like, there's nothing for Islam there. Plus, Ilya, for some reason, the hype just gets to people's heads. Because people just forget that Ilya only had one title defense. What the fuck? He does not deserve jack shit at lightweight, especially when you vacate your title because you were too fucking, drained. You were being a fucking weight bully. So now you have to move to another weight division. You don't deserve shit. So yeah, Ilya, I'm not even saying Ilya has to fight these men, like 2 guys, and then he gets the title. Beat Dustin, Arman, Oliveira, then yes, we'll give you the shot. All right? But I think so far, if anybody deserves it, I think it's Justin Gaethje's. Justin Gaethje's definitely deserves it the most. And if I'm being honest, Islam versus Justin is a very good matchup. Because that's a new matchup. That's new blood. Like, Islam hasn't fought him. Islam hasn't fought him at all. Islam fought Arman, Oliveira, Dustin. He's already fought these guys. And Max, obviously Dustin, Dan Hooker, Gamrot, Fiziev, they all don't deserve it at all. So yeah, Islam versus Gaethje. That's a new matchup, fresh matchup, new blood for Islam. So why not? Plus, Gaethje is in the win column now. And before that loss to Max Holloway, he was supposed to fight for the title. So why not make it happen now? So yeah, I believe Islam versus Gaethje should happen next. But you guys let me know what you think. Obviously, my social media is above. And I'm out of here.